I read a quote that I think you said a little while back, where you said, "I used to say we did a brilliant first album, we'll do an okay second album, we'll split up, and then we'll do an amazing reunion." So how close to that do you think your career has been to that quote?
I think the blueprint is intact, and we followed it perfectly. I actually said that before the first album. So, do you know
right.
that? That's what I said.
I remember the quote, but I don't remember when you said it.
I said it to Michaela right in the early days.
Well, as we were making the first album.
Yeah, and she reminded me of it.
Yeah, and I mean, so last time I saw you guys, you played, I think, the entire Permission to Land album, and then like half of the One Way Ticket album. Is that kind of a reflection on your feelings of one record compared to the other?
I don't know. I suppose it's because the first album was a distillation of like a huge amount of songs that we'd gigged over a long period of time, and those were the 10 songs that made it to the through that process, and we recorded a lot of stuff and a lot of stuff that we'd kind of played in front of audiences and had gone down well, and those were the best of them.
Yeah.
And then when it came to the second album, we wrote a load of new stuff which we didn't get a chance to road test properly. Because by that time we were playing in arenas and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can't really, well you can, it takes real balls though to sort of try out new material on a room full of 12,000 people.
Yeah, sounds a bit nerve-wracking.
So for for that album, I think we were trying to guess what would go over, and what would feel good to play, kind of thing. And, some of that stuff works and some of it doesn't,
Yeah. Did that put an added pressure on you guys to make the new album, Hotcakes, all the more better?
I reckon there's always pressure to make it better. What we didn't want to do is kind of go away and then come back as a sort of watered down version of what we used to be. Because you do see that sometimes, like you see bands.
See it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose what I mean is all the time, really. I mean, most reunions are just, pointless. These sort of, it looks like a cash-in, doesn't feel like there's anything dangerous about it. It's all kind of no risks and just retreads and all that kind of stuff. And we didn't want to do that. We couldn't afford to not take the chance, really. It had to be sort of dangerous or we're dead.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing about Nothing's Gonna Stop Us, because it, first of all, it kind of feels like a manifesto of your guys' feelings right now, and it's just genuinely a pure, at least what I think, like a pure darkness song. It sounds like you guys were right back into it. And is that like a sort of a message that you're delivering to your fans right now?
Nothing's Gonna Stop Us is quite an old song, actually, isn't it? I mean, we wrote it years and years ago.
Oh, okay.
And it was in the set, olden days, but it's sort of, songs live forever, don't they,
I have friends who can remember us playing that at a little pub in London, probably in, 2001?
2001?
Yeah.
It would have been.
Oh wow, all the way back then.
Actually, we probably played it in 2000, because Chris McDougall was in the band when we first had that song. Do you remember? And he left in
well, he wrote a little part.
Yeah, yeah. So that means that song's 12 years old.
Wow.
But it still counts as a manifesto. You know what I mean? It's an indication that our policy hasn't changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, to speak for you, but the actual song's about cycling, isn't it?
Well, it's about something. Yeah,
What is it about?
Well, in this sort of animation, there's some cycle-based action, and that's because the song itself is about an incident which I'm not proud of, which happened many years ago when I was drunk in Lowestoft, and me and my friend were trying to walk home. We were really tired, couldn't afford a taxi, and we just saw a BMX outside a hotel and nicked it. And so it had stunt pegs on it, and it was literally like in the lyrics, like who was on the stunt pegs? he was on. No, I was on the stunt pigs, and he was. Yeah. Anyway, the first thing we did was thought, right, we've got to try and take like a route that will keep us away from the fuzz.
Yeah.
And we went down there. So we went down the promenade at night, trying to. And the first thing that happened was a policeman just shot a torch in our faces, and we literally just went fuck, and just went round him with a plane, sort of it outran a policeman, and dumped it in the graveyard at the end of the night. Up top. And I've been working off the karma for that song ever since, and that's why it's, you know, important to sort of declare it, admit to it.
It's like
the next day we went back,
romanticised, isn't it?
The next day we went back and got the bike and put it back where we found it. So in a way, it was a loan.
Was it just not locked up then?
It was just. I mean, the guy must have literally just been dropping something off in the hotel. It's like the Victoria Hotel.
It was at night though, right?
It was night.
And it was in Lowestoft.
Sure was.
That's why I like this, the lyrics like cycling through the city.
The city of Lowestoft.
We don't come from a city.
Well, hopefully whoever's bike that was is watching this or reading it or heard it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
He's got his bike back, don't worry.
I hope so. Yeah, it's like, oh, but the darkness stole my bike. That's probably a good story. So nothing's going to stop us? Is that an indication of what we can expect from the album when it does come out?
Not really, because it's quite a diverse album. You know, I mean, some of it's... That's kind of like... how would you describe it? It's quite... In a way, it's sort of quite poppy, isn't it, that song? It's sort of... not all of it's like that. Some of it's very old school rock, and some of it's more luxurious than that and layered, you know. And some of it's more stripped down. So it's an indication of the poppy side of it.
Gotcha.
But there's kind of three sides to it, I think, probably.
Great. And I mean, you guys have always made such good music videos. And whose idea was that to come up with an animated video for that song?
Justin was friends with Tom Lesnar, who's an artist, and
That's actually Tom.
yeah, this is his band. Yeah, Sweat.
Oh, okay.
That's him there.
That's him on the...
And he sort of made the rest of us aware of his work, and he's a really talented artist. And something we've never done actually before is put the video totally in someone else's hands and say, right, do what you want. And we've never done that before. We thought it would be interesting to do that with animation, and we'd just let him do what he do exactly what he wanted actually, and it turned out really well.
But the thing that I know about Tom is that he draws things, and sort of at a glance it looks like a sort of, you know, just a quick drawing. But then within that drawing, he always captures the essence and something really that only he sees in a person or an object, you know. And his vision of the world is very similar to ours. And I knew that he'd kind of nail it, and he really threw a lot of interesting stuff in there that we weren't expecting, and sort of he'd sort of observed things about us that we thought only we knew about, you know. And it's quite funny. Like my favourite thing is in the diorama. Any other band, if you did like a diorama of a drummer, it'd be quite an animated one like that. With Tom's diorama, it's Ed with his hands down at his drum kit, which is perfect. You know, it really says a lot about Ed's performance style. You know,
What performance stuff?
well, it does though. I mean, it's in your personality as well. And it's really sort of it's clever that he does that and does it in a flattering way as well.
We went to his sister owns a restaurant in is it Ohio? We were.
Yeah.
And she owns a hot dog restaurant, and we went there the other day, and it's just all his work is displayed on the walls. And he's a very talented guy.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys have any more music videos planned?
Yeah, we just made another one. Just mention the one.
Yeah, there's we did a video for Everybody Have a Good Time, which is going to be a single here, everywhere actually. And it has a similar sort of. It's not intergal. Well, I suppose it's a bit sci-fi. Towards the end, it goes a little bit sci-fi, isn't it?
It's not really sci-fi.
All right, it's bi-fi. It's biological fiction.
Mm.
Did you say that? Bi-fi?
fantasy element. I don't know.
Anthropological fiction.
Perfect. And I think what's
It
really...
is sci-fi in a way, but it's just not the normal science that you'd expect, you know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. So we shot that just after being on tour in Australia earlier this month. We came straight from Australia to LA, and yeah, we filmed that video in LA a little while ago.
Cool.
Did some dates.
Yeah. Anything you can tell us about the video, or is it...
It's not finished yet,
Oh, okay.
so
Okay.
it's hard to sort of... we're using our imagination a lot at the moment to sort of imagine how it's going to end up, but
It's got some good acting in it, definitely.
yeah, we found some really talented, inexpensive,
Upcoming
yeah, upcoming,
young stars.
and they were really good.
Cool, cool. And it's been interesting. You've been really giving your fans a lot of the new songs, you know, way, way before the album was released. You've been playing, I think, some of the new stuff for about a year now, and you released Nothing's Gonna Stop Us on February 1st. It's like, what's that mindset behind just putting it all out there, like, so
Brazenly.
brazenly, so far ahead of the album's actual release?
Well,
I think we all agreed it was important to start playing new songs live early on to
mix it up a bit, make the set interesting for us and for the fans, and you know.
It's also,
and also
to show that it's not just living in the past, you know, that we are moving forward, and yeah, and to play the new stuff.
To a degree, it's to test the stuff as well. I mean, we'd had from the first show that we did in the reunion world, we had new stuff in the set, but after doing quite a few shows, we realised that, you know, we'd developed as a band, and we thought it'd be nice to sort of try and write some more songs, you know, having been on the road for a bit, and so the album includes sort of stuff that we wrote prior to touring and post touring. The next single is going to be the last thing that we wrote actually before we, you know, finished the album.
The reactions have been good from the fans so far?
The fans are amazing, you know, they've actually been amazing. And I have to say, especially in the US, it's just outrageous, you know, some of the...
Everywhere we go, there seems to be people seem to be pleased to see us, you know, over here, which is nice.
It doesn't always happen like that, you know. But that touring that you saw us on was gathered momentum, and just towards the end of it was some of the best shows we've ever done, you know, from audience reaction, audience reaction terms, you know, and also the way we were playing was really good.
Yeah. Have there, do the crowds seem at all different from before the hiatus and afterwards? Is there a notable difference at all?
No, they don't really seem any different, because what's happening is that some people who were too young to come and see the non-all ages shows before are now old enough and are coming, and in addition, our music has always appealed to people who are sort of more familiar with classic rock, you know. So the age range is the same as it used to be, really, which is very wide indeed.